Hey cruisers, before you book your 2026 sailing, stop. There are massive changes coming to cruise lines next year. Things that will affect your budget, your experience, and even your private island perks. From hidden fees to service cuts, this video will reveal everything cruise lines don't want you to know. Make sure you watch until the end because missing just one of these updates could cost you hundreds or ruin your vacation. Hit that like button and subscribe for insider cruise tips you won't hear anywhere else. Imagine paying almost $4,000 for a day at a private island, or realizing your all-inclusive drink package doesn't even work on the island itself. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's happening in 2026, and it's only the beginning. Let's break down the 13 shocking new rules and fees every cruiser needs to know before booking. 13. The $950 private island shock. First up, and probably the most jaw-dropping change for 2026, is the situation on Norwegian Cruise Line's Great Stirrup Cay. Starting March 1st, 2026, shipboard drink packages will no longer be valid once passengers disembark. Even though you've paid hundreds of dollars for all-inclusive perks at sea, they vanish the moment you step onto the island, leaving guests frustrated and shocked.
To make matters worse, the Silver Cove Villas, marketed as a premium luxury experience, are priced at $950 per person per day, meaning a family of 4 could spend nearly $4,000 for just a few hours of island access. Longtime cruisers are calling this the biggest money trap of the year, questioning whether private island perks are truly worth the price. Social media and cruise forums are already filled with outrage as travelers discuss cancellations and reconsidering future bookings. If you're planning a 2026 cruise, this is a critical change to know in advance. 12. The all-inclusive dream is dead. Next on our list, and a bitter reality for many travelers, is the fact that the all-inclusive cruise experience is quietly disappearing. By 2026, perks that passengers once took for granted, including Wi-Fi, drinks, spa treatments, gratuities, and specialty dining, will no longer be included in the base fare. Longtime cruisers say the magic of unrestricted, worry-free cruising is gone, replaced by a maze of additional fees.
Guests who once relaxed, knowing most expenses were covered, now find themselves calculating every extra charge, making land-based resorts often seem more generous and truly inclusive. These changes are creating frustration across social media and cruise forums, with many travelers questioning if the joy of cruising is worth the rising costs. Hidden charges are creeping into every part of the cruise experience, from shore excursions to simple drinks and snacks. If you're planning a 2026 sailing, it's essential to carefully review what's included and budget for these additional costs in advance to avoid surprises and disappointment. 11. Service cuts you'll notice immediately. Cruisers, brace yourselves. 2026 brings major service reductions across almost all cruise lines, and you will notice them the moment you board. What used to be twice daily stateroom service is now often replaced with just one visit per day, meaning evening turn-down, fresh towels before dinner, and little touches like chocolates or water bottles may vanish entirely. Cruise lines justify these changes as eco-friendly and cost-saving, but seasoned travelers call it hospitality skimflation, a slow erosion of value hidden behind greenwashing. The fare remains the same, yet passengers are receiving significantly less in return.
Longtime cruisers note that these small comforts made a cruise feel luxurious, convenient, and special, and without them, even premium cabins feel less exclusive. Essentially, you're paying full price for fewer services, less attention, and diminished convenience, turning what was once a pampering vacation into a series of compromises. If you're booking a 2026 sailing, be prepared to adjust your expectations and factor these service cuts into your travel planning, because the cruise experience has quietly changed. 10. Virgin Voyages breaks its tip-free promise. Cruise fans, this one's a real shocker. Virgin Voyages, once celebrated for its tip-free sailing experience, is officially adding a $20 per person per night gratuity starting in 2026. Only legacy bookings will escape this new charge, leaving most passengers paying what they thought was already included. Longtime fans feel betrayed, arguing that Virgin, which marketed itself as a revolutionary, carefree cruise line, has now joined the ranks of traditional carriers focused on upselling every possible perk.
For travelers who chose Virgin specifically to avoid tipping, this change feels like a step backward and undermines the promise of a simpler, more inclusive experience. Cruise forums are full of frustration and heated debates, with some passengers questioning whether the brand still delivers its unique value. Even cruisers who remained loyal admit it's proof that no cruise line is immune to increasing fees and hidden costs. If you're planning a Virgin Voyages sailing in 2026, expect to budget for gratuities and consider whether this change affects your decision to sail with them in the future. 9. Extra entrees now cost money. Food lovers, brace yourselves. Dining at sea is about to become more expensive. Starting in 2026, Norwegian Cruise Line will charge $5 for every extra entree after the first 2 in the main dining room. Royal Caribbean and Princess have already implemented similar charges for premium items like lobster tails, but NCL is expanding this policy to more standard menu options. Longtime cruisers are frustrated, saying that the dream of all-you-can-eat dining is quietly disappearing. Guests now have to carefully consider how many dishes they order, which was previously part of the carefree cruise experience. While the cruise line claims this change helps reduce food waste, passengers feel it's a clever way to increase onboard revenue.
According to Cruise Industry News, this fee is already being applied fleet-wide, and travelers are reporting mixed reactions online. Some understand the reasoning, but most see it as another hidden cost in an increasingly fee-driven environment. If you're planning a 2026 cruise, budget for these extra charges because dining that was once free may now hit your wallet. 8. Room service rules are ridiculous. Room service, once considered a luxury, is being seriously limited in 2026. Norwegian Cruise Line has introduced rules that are confusing and frustrating for passengers. For breakfast, each guest can order only 1 hot and 1 cold item, and for all-day service, the maximum is 2 items per person. Delivery fees remain the same, $4.95 for breakfast and $9.95 for all-day orders, meaning you are paying the same amount for less. If you want more than the allowed items, you have to place another order and pay the fees again. Many guests are confused about what counts as a hot or cold item. Does coffee count? What about cereal or soup? These unclear rules make a small pleasure suddenly feel like a hassle and an extra expense.
Cruise forums and social media are filled with complaints from travelers who feel that this change is unnecessary and makes the cruise experience feel less inclusive. What used to be a simple treat now comes with restrictions and added costs, changing the way passengers enjoy their stateroom experience. 7. Loyalty programs are being dismantled. Cruise loyalty programs are changing, and longtime passengers are not happy. Carnival is replacing its VIF Club with a new reward system that focuses more on spending than on loyalty. Frequent cruisers who once earned perks and recognition for repeat sailings may now slip down the tiers unless they spend heavily on onboard purchases and excursions. Fans are worried this is just the beginning and that other major cruise lines may follow suit, shifting the emphasis from rewarding loyal passengers to maximizing revenue. This change makes many feel that the personal touch and appreciation that once defined cruising is being replaced by a system that prioritizes profits over people.
Travelers who have sailed for years express disappointment, saying loyalty should be about celebrating repeat passengers, not how much money they spend. The new system feels like a betrayal of trust, and passengers are reconsidering where to book their future sailings. If you plan to cruise in 2026, be aware that loyalty perks are no longer guaranteed, and the rewards you counted on may now depend entirely on your spending habits. 6.
Refundable deposits are vanishing. If you value flexibility when booking a cruise, 2026 brings some unwelcome news. Refundable deposits are disappearing fast across major cruise lines. Princess Cruises has already made non-refundable deposits the default, and other lines are expected to follow. While the upfront cost may appear lower, the risk is much higher. If your plans change, you lose every cent. Families who book early to secure cabins are particularly at risk, as non-refundable policies mean no exceptions, even for emergencies. Some lines still offer refundable fares, but they come at an extra cost, turning flexibility into a premium feature that was once standard. Passengers report feeling trapped, especially when unexpected events force cancellations or date changes.
This shift is creating frustration across cruise forums, with seasoned travelers warning newcomers to read the fine print carefully. What used to be a simple, worry-free booking now requires strategic planning and extra budgeting. If you're sailing in 2026, don't assume that deposits or fares are refundable. It's becoming the norm to pay more for the security of flexibility, something every traveler should consider before booking. 5. Virgin Voyages introduces a complicated three-tier system. Virgin Voyages, known for its simple, all-inclusive fare, is making a major change in 2026. The line is moving from one straightforward fare to a three-tier system: base, essential, and premium. Each tier comes with different perks, including Wi-Fi access, dining options, and flexibility features. What was once an easy, inclusive experience is now confusing and feels more like airline pricing, where travelers must pay extra to regain benefits they once received automatically. Longtime fans of Virgin express frustration, saying the simplicity that made the cruise line unique is disappearing fast. Many passengers now have to carefully read the details of each tier to determine which level meets their needs without unexpected costs.
Some are concerned that this shift turns a once relaxing vacation into a series of calculations and decisions about what is truly included. For those who booked Virgin specifically for a seamless and inclusive experience, the new system may feel like a step backward. If you're planning a 2026 sailing, be prepared to navigate these tiered options carefully because the benefits you expected may now come at an additional cost. 4. Printed daily schedules are gone. For decades, morning schedules were a cherished cruise ritual. Passengers would sip coffee, pen in hand, circling trivia, shows, and activities for the day. It was a small but enjoyable tradition that helped plan the perfect day at sea. In 2026, those printed schedules are almost completely gone, replaced by digital apps on smartphones and tablets. While cruise lines argue that apps are faster, cheaper, and more eco-friendly, many guests dislike staring at screens during vacation. Apps can crash unexpectedly, hide events deep in menus, and interrupt the experience with pop-ups and alerts, making planning feel more like work than leisure.
Longtime cruisers say the simple joy of holding a schedule, marking events, and sharing plans with friends is disappearing, and with it, a little piece of the cruise magic. What was once a carefree ritual has now become digital and sometimes frustrating. If you're sailing in 2026, be prepared to adapt your morning routine and rely on technology for your daily planning, and accept that some of the charm of traditional cruising is slowly fading. 3. Rising port taxes are hidden in fares. Cruisers, 2026 is bringing higher port taxes worldwide, and many passengers won't notice until it's too late. In Hawaii, port fees can add up to 14% of your cruise cost, while Mexico has doubled its tourism tax. Amsterdam has increased its day tax to 11 to 14 euros. The U.S. Virgin Islands tax on extra fees, and Greece maintains seasonal cruise ship levies. These costs are often quietly included in your total fare, making it easy to underestimate how much your cruise will actually cost. Many travelers only realize the impact when reviewing their final bills, leaving them frustrated at the surprise charges. Cruise lines often pass these fees directly to passengers without explanation, which some see as a clever yet sneaky way to increase revenue. The combination of rising port taxes, hidden onboard surcharges, and additional fees for drinks, excursions, and dining makes 2026 cruises feel more expensive than ever. If you're booking a cruise next year, it's critical to factor in port taxes when comparing options, or you could face a much larger total cost than expected. 2. Costa Maya's authentic port experience is gone. Royal Caribbean is turning Costa Maya into its new perfect day destination, and longtime cruisers are not happy. What was once a lively public port filled with local markets, affordable drinks, and friendly vendor interactions is being replaced by fenced-off private beaches, exclusive cabanas, and corporate-branded experiences. Many passengers loved exploring freely, soaking in local culture, and enjoying authentic experiences that made Costa Maya special. Now the port feels like a commercial playground, where almost everything is branded, managed, and monetized. Cruisers report that the charm and spontaneity of the destination are disappearing, leaving a more scripted, corporate-focused experience. Fans on forums are calling it a major downgrade, saying that Royal Caribbean seems more interested in profit than preserving the local flavor that once made this port unique.
If you loved wandering Costa Maya freely and soaking up its authentic vibe, prepare for a very different experience in 2026, where your options will be controlled and every convenience comes at an extra cost. Families hit hard with childcare hikes. Parents, brace yourselves. 2026 brings steep increases for late-night childcare on Royal Caribbean cruises. After 10 p.m., fees are rising by 50%, turning what was once an affordable and convenient service into a costly add-on. Families who want to enjoy a relaxing dinner, attend shows, or have some free time now face significantly higher expenses. Cruise forums are filled with frustration from parents who feel this change contradicts the promise of family-friendly cruising. Alongside rising charges for drinks, dining, excursions, and gratuities, these childcare hikes make family vacations feel more like budget management than carefree fun. Parents now have to carefully calculate every dollar or risk being surprised by extra fees at the end of their trip.
Many say this trend is pushing families away from cruising, or forcing them to consider alternate ways to manage costs. If you're planning a family cruise in 2026, it's essential to budget for childcare and all the added charges, because the convenience you once relied on now comes at a premium. 2026 cruising is changing fast, and if you're not prepared, it could cost you big. Smash that like button, subscribe, and stay ahead of every new rule before you set sail. Click any of these videos on your screen, and I'll see you in the moment.